when you two
Great
were
band.
kids,
Actually, I don't really
when you
like
guys were
U2.
kids,
Yeah.
Yeah, terrible band.
did you have to do like school fundraisers in Florida where like you would have to just sell stuff that nobody wanted? Magazine subscriptions or like a cutlery set, or you'd walk around with that magazine to people, and like if you never had to do this?
We would do.
I
Colin,
did.
you ever have to do this?
Yeah, every year of my high school life, I was in the Lake Brantley High School marching band, Go
Those
Patriots.
chocolate bars?
Not
Chocolate
even
bars we
chocolate
did.
bars. We sold luminaries, which are literally just like paper bags with candles in them that you'd line your driveway with, and
Oh.
apples. So I had to go knock doors once a semester to try to sell apples and luminaries, which nobody wanted.
So weird.
These things are wild to me. I think back to like middle school, I and the gifts that you would get for achieving a certain amount of sales. I remember there was this one fundraiser where you got these little googly-eyed keychains, and there were like 20 of them, and you were trying to collect them all, and everyone just kind of became obsessed with them for a month. Christmas wrapping paper was another one that you always had to sell.
Yeah, I did
And so
magazines too. Yeah.
I remember this being a thing, and now I am entering that phase as a
boy.
parent.
Wait,
Oh,
wait.
man.
Is this all just one big setup to try to get Colin and I to buy some stuff?
And the listener. So no, Holden came home, and now there's like a dance-a-thon, and he's had a couple of these over the past few years. That's like magazine subscriptions, and I'm not going to subject our friends and family to like magazine subscriptions or anything like that.
Sure.
But this is just like donate a little bit of money, and they're trying to raise money to redo their courtyard. There's like a courtyard in the middle of the school that's, I guess, like dilapidated, and they're trying to redo it. So they're raising money for that. And if they raise a certain amount of money, the school as a unit gets like different prizes depending on how much money they made. But like, I'm seeing all of Holden's friends' parents posting like these cute videos of their kids being like, "Hi, I'm so and so, and would you help me?" And Holden's like, "When am I?" Yeah, and Holden's coming up going, "Shouldn't I be making a video?" And I'm like,
Oh, my.
like, are you guys prepared for that? Are you prepared for the fundraising Girl Scout cookie sales like
Well,
aspect of your parenting?
I mean, you're uniquely prepared. Put them in front of the microphone and shoot a podcast promo. That would be fun. You know, you could get them to be Aaron for the day.
No joke. Aaron asked if we could make a little video that ends with Holden saying, "And remember, stop wasting your wine."
Yes. Yes, we can. The answer is yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, but that's my line, though. I don't know how I feel about that. That's got to like, I'm
You
a
could
little
pop in and say that.
territorial on that line. Yeah.
No, I'm not ready for that. I mean, that's a lot. It's so much to deal with, and you're just constantly trying to hit up your family with requests of stuff that they don't want. So
It's never ending.
Here's the thing: it doesn't matter if you're ready or not. It's happening. It's going to happen at some point.
It's coming.
Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast where we waste our wine so you don't have to. On this episode, we review
a red wine from France.
Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Joel, and as always, I am joined by the amazing Aaron and Colin. How are you guys?
Feeling good, ready to go.
Good
to be here.
I'm excited to be here too. I'm excited that you guys are here. Aaron, is that every bottle of wine that we've ever tried behind you right there? I'm just noticing that you have an array of empty wine bottles behind you.
You know,
is this new?
It's not every. You know, I've been working on it for the past like month. It's not every bottle of wine, but
Fair.
my background is chaotic. It has nothing to do with anything, so I figured I should add something themed to our show. But also, it just helps me kind of remember. It's the ones that we either liked or were like passable.
Oh,
no, it's not the fridge. It's beyond the fridge. It's like the fridge and the table and some counter wines.
That's great.
Yeah, I don't
You
think
know,
there's any drain wines or closet wines back there, but
the one thing that immediately popped into my mind is my kids would have thrown all those bottles on the floor by now. So the fact that you still have it up is pretty incredible.
yeah, my boys are past the just pick up glass and chuck it stage.
Oh,
Oh, that's good.
Um,
good for you.
and yeah, so they have no interest in those. Those are nuts. Now
Yeah.
there are some action figures behind them, and so I have to tell
Oh,
them like, if you want
Smart.
those, can't reach
that's fair.
for
That's fair.
dad as collectibles.
Good idea
Ah,
putting the toys behind the they're collectibles. Okay. I thought I thought you were
brilliant.
putting toys behind the glass bottles, which not recommended.
Their toys. It's actually like, if you want to play, you gotta earn it. Survive.
I love that. I also should have known that wasn't every bottle, as this is episode 69, guys. Can you believe that? Episode 69 today.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. No, I only have maybe like 12 back there,
Yeah.
so I gotta
Okay.
get caught up.
Yeah.
There
For
definitely
sure.
aren't 69 bottles back there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, I am excited that you guys are here as well. So today, thank you so much again, listener, for joining us. We have a heck of a show for you. As always, we are going to open up a fun new wine, share a little bit about that. Today, we're going to learn a little something from Aaron.
Woo!
How about that?
Bam, bam.
And we're going to play a game.
History
We're gonna play
lesson.
a little game. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, looking forward to that, Aaron. Fantastic, fantastic. So that's what we got in store for you. Colin, can you tell us a little bit more about this red wine from France that we're going to be diving into today?
I sure can. So this is the Jean-Claude de Beaune, which is actually bottled at Domaine des Versauds, which can be incredibly confusing because we've actually tried a Jean-Claude de Beaune before, which I believe we'll get into a little bit. But that was under his own name. This is actually bottled at a different chateau for him. So you'll see both, yes, his name and the chateau on there. This is a 2020. We are drinking some Gamay. We are in the region of Beaujolais, sub-region or cru of Morgon. This is a surprising 14.5% alcohol by
Yowza.
volume. Yeah, for Gamay, that is a big wine. We bought this one at Total Wine for a price of $24.99. And this one is Joel's wine. And Joel,
Yeah.
why don't you tell us a little bit more about why you picked this one out for us?
Yeah, nothing too crazy special. I mean, I know we had a Gamay. I think it was back in August, a little bit before, Gamay season and all that good stuff, if there is such a thing. But I think we were a little lukewarm on that one. That was Beaujolais Village, if I remember correctly. So today, this is the Morgon, and what was interesting is I wanted to try this one. It was very accessible, and again, always my disclaimer. Not that we care too much about these points, but anytime I see something that has scored some points that's at a reasonable price point, I'm like, well, maybe this will be an interesting thing here. So this one has a 92 pointer here from, I believe, Mr. Suckling. So I thought, hey, let's give it a go.
2 questions.
Yes.
One,
Yeah.
is it Gamay or Gamay?
Can I say my guess and then Colin can correct me?
Yeah,
I say Gamay.
I mean, I say Gamay, but I could be wrong. I could be the wrong
I
one here.
say Gamay. You say Gamay.
All right, we'll figure this out by the end of this episode, because I've been saying Gamay, but no, it's in.
Say Gamay.
Now, if I recall from the first Beaujolais that we had, the different appellations have different qualities ranked to them, correct?
That's right.
So is a Morgon a slightly higher quality than Village?
Yes, that's right. It is one of the Beaujolais crus, one of the 10 Beaujolais crus, which are going to be the named villages that you will see on the bottle, like Morgon, and they are known for their better quality. It's like the pyramid. You have your village level, and then higher on the pyramid, you have your named villages.
Is that the highest?
Yes.
Okay, so so hypothetically, I remember from the first time we had a Beaujolais, we did not love it, if I recall it. I don't think we drained it,
We're
but
pretty,
I think
pretty lukewarm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was definitely like counter to closet with everybody. And so this should hypothetically be a better wine.
That was my thought process when I was selecting this one. I'll tell you that much. Yeah.
For sure.
For not a ton more. I think the last one ran us
Yeah.
in like the $17-18 range, and this
Yeah.
one's 25. So if this is a type of wine, if a chilled red is, you know, in your wheelhouse, you know, this is not a huge investment to get a slightly better wine if this is in fact a higher quality.
Yeah, and I'm excited about this one because this is, like Joel said, this is kind of Beaujolais season with Thanksgiving coming up. It is one of the most recommended red wines for Thanksgiving. So hopefully this is one, hopefully this is one we could pick up. The crazy thing about this, like I said, is the alcohol, 14.5%. Gamay is usually a light grape. You don't usually see it get overly ripe. It's usually known for its lighter style wines. So 14.5%. This will be interesting to see how it especially compares to some of the other Gamays.
Will this pair with the cranberry sauce that comes in a can?
Anything pair with the cranberry sauce that comes in the can?
I am forever skeptical of foods that you only ever eat once a year. Because there is a reason you don't go back to that food the other, 11 and a half months. Like, so I don't get when stuff comes out just for like a day. Side note, that was important.
No, very important. I'm trying to think if
like
I disagree with you, but I can't think of anything. Well, I mean, that should be celebrated year round.
Are you eating candy corn in April?
No, I'm not.
You can't even find candy corn in April.
I mean, Peeps in April.
There's a reason for that. Peeps
you know what?
Another great
Peeps
example.
is a good example. Yeah. And Peeps are terrible too. I don't care.
They are terrible. Peeps are the worst.
Where you're coming from. Yeah. Peeps are terrible.
Like bacon a turkey. Just like if it was
that's
really
the thing.
If it was really that great, you'd do it more often.
That's what was in my head because I honestly, I kind of enjoy the process of baking a turkey, and I love having
it is a hassle.
A little turkey around. It is a hassle. You can't find, like, where do you go to find a whole turkey if it's not Thanksgiving, though? That's the thing. I feel like I would do it more than once if it was available.
All right, so all I have to say, we'll just pair with all those things.
You sent us off on a tangent.
No, sorry, we'll save the rest of this tangent for next week. This is next week tangent.
No, but it's a fair question, and I don't think we know yet because we haven't even started enjoying this thing. So why don't we do that? Let's get into our
good first crack at it.
Jean-Claude Debonne Beaujolais from Morgon.
Tastes like wine.
All right. Let's give it a swirl. All right, Colin. I'll go to you first, buddy. What do you got?
Well, funny you would bring up that canned cranberry because I get a lot of cranberry in this one.
It's in your head. I inception you.
You might have. You might have. There's also some other red fruits in there. I think red fruit is the main fruit profile in this wine. Maybe a little strawberry.
Yes.
Yeah, a little cherry. Do you guys have anything else?
All that. Definitely like a floral kind of note to it, I think. A little bit over the top.
I'd agree with that.
But I would say like red fruit, cherry, maybe strawberry, but yeah, that kind of stuff.
I think strawberry was such a good call. I want to say on the cherry, I agree. But to me, it's almost like the not real cherry. I don't mean this it's not to sound bad about the wine, but like what is it? Not the maraschino?
Like the candied cherry we're talking about?
Yeah, like a maraschino cherry. Which I guess is still a real cherry, but it's almost like a candy cherry. I don't know.
Well, I think just what we learned last time with Beaujolais and Gamay in general, having that more candy, fruity, over-the-top scent is kind of par for the course, yeah?
Especially with the Nouveau, the Village and Cru level wines are going to be a little bit more serious than the Beaujolais Nouveau, which is going to have those, like candied banana and bubblegum flavors. So this shouldn't...
Silly shit.
Yeah, this shouldn't be too silly. This should be pretty serious. But you could definitely find some different fruit along the ripe and candied spectrum for sure. And then the other thing I'm picking up on is the alcohol.
Gosh, yeah, for sure.
You can definitely smell the alcohol. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah. Aaron, what are you getting on the sip here?
I mean, I think right off the bat, confirming everything Colin was saying about, the red fruit. I think structure standpoint, I like the tannins a lot. It's not like super overbearing. It's not like a super high tannin wine, but there is a little bit of that grippiness that's really nice, especially with this being a chilled wine. So we all had this in our fridge ahead of time. So I think that is a really nice combination of the tannin and the more chilled aspect with some of the deeper flavors is an interesting experience.
Colin?
Yeah, I actually really like the tannin. Gamay to me can sometimes be a little too under tannic. I like a little bit of grip, and this wine definitely has that little bit of grip. So I do appreciate that as well. Probably medium plus acidity. Definitely not too crazy, but you can still feel it. Probably medium body. And then as far as flavor is concerned, you are getting a lot of those red fruits. They're actually pretty fresh red fruit too. Besides that candied cherry, other than that, it kind of tastes like freshly cut strawberry or something like that, or a fresh cranberry, not cooked or jammed or stewed.
I want you all to do something with me and experience this for a second. Take a little sip, leave some on your tongue, and inhale.
Are you trying to drown me?
Well, don't inhale the liquid. Just inhale past it.
That's
Does it
it's a
not
booze.
feel / taste like you just had a shot of vodka?
It's a boozy sip for sure.
Yeah.
No, that's
Oh my
wild.
God.
Right?
I'm really happy I don't drink like that naturally. That was terrible.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that really like sting, that alcohol sting like just went down my throat.
Yeah. And also
Um,
just like that
yeah.
aftertaste, honestly, like you just took a little sip of vodka. And I know we've had some high alcohol wines in the past, and there's always like, oh, it's kind of like a linger, you can tell there's alcohol in it. We say that, or at least I say that a lot. But this is like as though you just took a shot of vodka.
So
Yes,
well,
and
we've
it's a
had
vodka.
high alcohol wines in the past, but it's 14.5 to 15%
Yeah.
is the highest range of wine that we've had from an alcohol standpoint. I think
Yeah.
everything beyond that is like fortified wine, correct, Colin? Everything like above 15%.
Well, I mean, the Zinfandel we had last week was 15.2, so they can get up there.
That's true. And that
But
was wild.
yeah, no, when you drink it like that, it is really unpleasant.
Yeah. Sorry to shine a light
No.
on that for you guys, but
No, that's okay.
But just
Glad you
name,
did.
I'm
Weird
not
experience.
getting that experience when I'm drinking naturally. So like it's
Yeah,
not.
that's fair.
We've definitely had wines that we've had before where the alcohol sting and the alcohol smell and the alcohol
Yeah.
experience has been overbearing.
Mhm.
I'm not getting that, but it is there when you dig for it for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll let that sit for a little bit. I feel like this might be one that might change a little bit as we tend to some other pod business for the next 15, 20. The first thing we need to do here is, and I'm excited for this, we're going to learn a little something from Aaron.
This is the only thing you will learn.
So, for folks that may have just tuned into our show more recently, Colin is the know-it-all when it comes to the wine world.
Hardly.
But I am,
way.
I'm a history guy. I love going down the history road. So, did some digging here because based on last time Colin talked to us about Beaujolais, it's weird. It has kind of a weird kind of a culture to it, which doesn't really jive with the rest of the wine scene. So I kind of want to see if there was anything there. And so this is what I got. So Beaujolais, as we've learned, is a region in France and has now become synonymous with the type of wine from there. So it's both the region and it's what you call the wine from that region. Beaujolais is found south of Burgundy and north of Rhone Valley. So it is right between two very serious wine regions. They have been planting Gamay in the region for thousands of years. The Romans started planting there. It was then taken over by Benedict monks and then like feudal lords in the area. So it's gone on for a long, long time. And so Gamay was all over France for a while until 1395, where Philip the Bold, who is the Duke
Cool
of
name.
Burgundy,
Two
right?
names.
Very cool name.
Yeah.
All I want in
Yeah.
history is to have a the something cool after my name. So
Yeah.
this dude, Philip the Bold,
Kind of a douche though.
decided he outlawed Gamay from Burgundy because,
That's a bold
and I
move.
quote, Gamay is a bad and disloyal vine.
Okay.
Ouch.
Yeah. Again, things I don't want to be called after my death. So he's a bad and disloyal vine by Philip the Bold. But Gamay was allowed to continue being grown in Beaujolais and grew there relatively well because of the granite soil in the area. So it was generally a local thing for a long time. And in the 19th century, they built railways across France and connected Paris, France, especially to the region. And Beaujolais started to become a popular wine with the kids in Paris. Like it was just in a cafe, and it was just
a hip drink.
it was a hip drink with the
Yeah.
kids. And then where history gets really fun is when you get names popping up that you don't generally associate with something. I mean, this gentleman's associated with wine, but Louis Pasteur, this style of winemaking called carbonic maceration, which I believe Colin may have talked about at one point a little bit,
Briefly, yes.
very briefly.
Very briefly.
But so, Louis Pasteur from, vaccine and pasteurization fame creates this system called carbonic maceration, which allows wine to be made faster and distributed faster. And so basically the way it works is instead of having to like pull stems off the grapes and separate all the grapes, you just take whole bunches of grapes and you throw them in the fermentation tank. And then you just fill the tank with carbon dioxide. And it causes the grapes to ferment internally. And when the grapes get to 2% alcohol internally, they explode. And then from the natural yeast in the grape skins, the rest of the process takes over until it gets to the alcohol level that you want. But it pretty much like speeds up the entire process. And that allowed Beaujolais to not only start producing faster, but that's what allowed Beaujolais Nouveau to exist, because it allowed them to create the wine very, very quickly and then market it and get it out to the rest of the area very fast. And so it became very, very popular, especially in the mid 1900s, 1950s, 1960s. And it became part of the tradition in France. Beaujolais Nouveau became a celebration of the end of the harvesting season, mostly because it was the first wine that you could get out to the people that was a representation of that harvest. So they
It's
would
like the pilot,
finish
like the
harvesting.
pilot for that harvest.
Right. And so that was like, it's new. And because of the carbonic maceration process with Gamay, that's what creates a lot of the funky flavors. Like that process is what creates a lot of the crazy flavors with that grape. And then it became a tradition in France. The third Thursday of every November is a celebration of the end of the harvest, and traditionally celebrated with Beaujolais Nouveau.
That's really cool.
Very cool. Have you guys ever had Beaujolais Nouveau?
It's been a
Not
little
yet.
while. I think I have. It's been a very long time.
It's
I've
an
not.
experience. I will say it is an experience. Whether you like it or not is up to you, but it's nothing like any other wine we've tasted so far. That's for sure. Even after 69 episodes, there's nothing I can really compare Beaujolais Nouveau to.
How crazy. Like, I mean, you can say this about so many things in history, but how do you figure out carbonic maceration? Like, oh, if I just pump in a whole bunch of CO2, these grapes are going to internally ferment. How do you find that out?
I try not to think about all the terrible things that scientists in the 1800s and early 1900s were allowed to do to figure this shit out. But they were allowed to do some crazy shit. It's why a lot of like scientists in that time period invented like a lot of different things. Alexander Graham Bell invented like a bunch of different stuff. Like all these guys were just like allowed to do things. And I'm sure they cut some corners, but yeah, it's like yeah, it was like Louis Pasteur came up with like pasteurization, carbonic maceration, vaccination. You're just like, bro, and like a whole bunch of like microbiology stuff there. It's like
It might have been an accident too. It might have started off with partial carbonic maceration because one of the byproducts of fermentation is CO2. So if you throw a bunch of grapes into a tank, and if the bottom ones say break open, that's going to start a natural fermentation. So maybe that's how that came about. I don't know for sure, but that's definitely
an interesting
an option.
theory.
Yeah,
you might be trying to invent a drug to lower blood pressure and accidentally invent Viagra.
Ah, yes.
There you go.
Yes.
That is true.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Pasteur's mistake made winemaking easier. That made some things a lot harder. Moving on. It's What do you guys say we play a little game here, huh?
Let's do it.
You guys want to do some I'm wine with that?
I'm wine with that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's
I'm fine with
do
that.
it. All right. If you have not played this wonderful game with us before, pretty darn simple. And really, everyone's a winner here. There's no points. There's no anything. We just each bring a bit of an interesting scenario to the table and pose the question, would you be wine with that? We'll show you what we mean. So who wants to go ahead and go first?
I'll kick it off.
Okay.
All right. So my are you mine with that situation is, you get to drink an extremely expensive bottle of wine with one other individual, but that person has the habit of, while you are speaking, while you are telling a story, while you are talking, they turn away from you and start talking to someone else. And they do that repeatedly to you throughout the conversation.
Okay, so this is my dream date. So yeah, I'm wine with that. Like that's fantastic. I just get to drink the wine by myself. I'm 100% wine with that.
Well, no, they're there, and they keep engaging you in conversation. Every time they talk back, they turn away from you and ignore you.
That's fine.
This is one of my biggest pet peeves in life. I am not wine with that. I'm just like, if I'm talking to someone and then they like get distracted and like look away, like I feel very disrespected. It's like my biggest pet peeve.
Now, as soon as they disengage, I would be like, all right, cool. I'm just gonna enjoy
Call
this
Colin
really
pours
nice
the last glass of wine.
100%. No, I'm right there. I'm 100% with you, Colin. Yeah, that's great. Every time they turn around, look away, I'm checking scores. I'm enjoying that wine. That's fantastic. That's like a little break, a little breather. I'm in.
Absolutely.
You guys are more
I
patient
love how
than me.
you like your battery is filled by engagement and like somebody like looking at you and being connected with you in conversation. Colin and I are like, no, that's cool. Do your thing, dog.
That's actually preferred.
All right, fine. Know my audience.
Colin, you got one?
Yeah. Okay. So you get to experience a very nice bottle of wine, but you have to do it with your neighbor who plays his music way too loud, way into the night. Are you on with that? I'm just going to jump in because it drives me absolutely insane. I know it's my question, but
this is coming from a very sore place for you right now. Yeah.
Very
Does your neighbor listen to this episode?
And neighbor, if you're listening, turn the fucking music down because if you wake up my kids, I'm coming over there. We live very, very close. There's not a lot of space in between houses here, and I would not ever want to enjoy anything with that guy. So I'm not wine with that.
Wow. Is he or she playing the music while you're drinking the wine?
Oh yeah, no, the music's going the whole time. That's his thing.
That's the defining characteristic of this person.
The music comes with him to the table. Just like,
great taste in wine, but
I mean,
blaring terrible music.
That slightly changes the experience. I was gonna say I'm wine with that only because you guys might not know this about me, but I don't mind confrontation. So it's
go on.
It's like a trap. It's like, thank you for joining me for this bottle of wine. Let me pour you a glass. Let's talk about your music.
So you're using that as a foot in the door to talk about the music.
100%. It's like,
Very
welcome.
political.
You have signed up for this time. Now let's have a conversation and come to a solution because, sir, this has to change.
Oh man, that's next level stuff. No, I'm not wine with that. I don't want to be a part of that. All right, here's mine. It's a little wild. You know that ride? You know the old like fair roller coaster that would just go in a circle? It was just one loop, and it would go around in the loop. Like think about Big, the beginning of Big, the ride that he wants to get on, right? Okay.
Yeah.
$2,000 bottle of wine. Amazing bottle of wine. But you have to drink it. You get a little straw, so you don't have to worry about it spilling everywhere. Perfect temperature, but you're on that ride for the duration of your enjoyment of that wine.
I'm doing that for the content. 100%. That is getting videotaped, and you can see that on Stop Wasting Your Wine on our Instagram.
Fair.
Check us out. 100%.
I am 100% not wine with that because I will have thrown that wine up onto myself and everybody else on that ride.
Console belly.
After maybe the first loop. So no, It would not be worth it for me because I'd get to taste that wine at least twice. Actually, so maybe it is worth it. But one is going the wrong way.
And red wine puke is a horror. It is a
Ooh.
horror. It is, I think back to like college and high school when someone has consumed too much red wine and is thrown up. It is a murder scene. It is not
Yeah,
good.
Yeah,
not
that's
that I
true.
would know anything about that, but it sounds
Yeah, of course
terrible.
not.
No, not me, Mr.
Not
Pukums over
you.
here.
Joel, are you gonna partake in this that you brought up?
Oh, I'm way wine with that. Yeah, let's do it. That sounds like fun.
Yeah. Make some content
100%.
together. It'll
Yeah,
be
let's
fun.
go, man. I'm in.
All right. Well, good.
Awesome.
I'm glad I wasn't contrarian to both of you in every single one because I was starting to
Yeah.
feel odd man out.
No, we're aligned
But
on at least one. But that's the fun. Find where we align and where we differ. That's what it's all about, guys. All right. Well, thank you guys for playing along. Always a good time. Listen, the tomfoolery is over. We've got some important business to tend to here. Let's go ahead and give it one more try, see if there's anything else that anybody wants to note, and then let's go ahead and review this thing. All right, any changes or anything different anybody's got?
I think the fruit has actually gotten a little more. It's come forward a little bit. You can really taste it a lot more. It's a little more intense than it was before. And I don't know if that's because maybe some of the alcohol's burned off, so you're not getting as much of that experience. But I think none of the fruit has changed. You're still getting a lot of the same fruit, but it's definitely a more fruity wine after letting it sit for a little bit of time.
I think you're onto it with the alcohol burning off because that was the first thing I noticed of just like that harshness when you smell and kind of really analyze it a little bit more is gone and just kind of leaving the fruit taste that we were talking about. So it's very nice to open up in that way.
That took a while too, though. I mean, I had this bottle open for a good 30 before our first try. So again, just folks at home, if you do give this one a try.
It's funny because
some time.
Gamay, not usually one I would recommend letting sit for a while. It's usually you just want to pop it and drink it because it is not usually a wine that needs to be decanted or it needs that time to open up. So this one, because of the
Disclaimer.
style, right? Disclaimer.
It'll get
You definitely need to put some air on this bad boy.
Yeah. But I think, the only thing that's happening is it's allowing us to see a little bit more clearly all the things we kind of called out before, which is nice.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%. Let's get into it.
All right. Well, let's get into that review.
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
All right. As this is my wine, I will give myself the honor of going last. Let you gentlemen go ahead and kick us off. So, Aaron, I'm going to go ahead and send it to you.
Yeah. I like it. It's unique. It's different. It has, I would say, more of a red fruit flavor. I was disappointed when we did the Beaujolais Village because the concept of a chilled red was exciting, and then it wasn't that great. So the fact that you have found this one, I'm excited about this. We're hosting Thanksgiving at our place this year, we're doing Thanksgiving dinner, and then we're doing Friendsgiving the next night with some more folks. So this is definitely a bottle that I'm going to have on the table. I'm like imagining in my head having like kind of a bin with all the whites on ice and then also having this on there and kind of talking about this with folks. So this is definitely a kitchen table wine for me, especially at this time of year and having the tradition and timing and season in mind. I'm enjoying it very much.
Love that. Colin?
Yeah, so my problem with this wine is the price. At $25, it is very simple. We picked up a couple fruit flavors and then maybe some floralness. I'm kind of struggling because it's super tasty, but like I want to pay maybe $18 for this or $17 for this. This is not, in my opinion, a $24 bottle of wine. I think overall the quality of the wine is a kitchen table wine, but I think it's going on the counter only because the value just isn't there. So
isn't that the general price point of a Morgon in that $20 to $25 range? So if you want to get a better Beaujolais, but when you drop down to Villages, the quality's not as good. Like, can you get this for under 20?
No, but you could probably find a better version of Morgon at the same price, would be my argument. So, again, not that it's bad wine. It's rather simple. There's not too much complexity. And, of course, I bring a little bit of what I've tried before, and I've had some outstanding wines from Morgon in this price range. So this one kind of falls flat comparatively. But again, it's not bad wine. It's super tasty. I'm really enjoying drinking it. I can't put it on the kitchen table, though, because of the value. So I'm bringing it to the counter because I enjoy drinking it, but I'm not paying $25 for this again.
Joel?
I'm not bringing a whole bunch of comparison here, and I'm just trying to look at this experience. And this experience has me sort of teetering between even just looking at the experience. I'm taking out value, all that good stuff. I'm just looking at how much I enjoyed this wine. Teetering between the counter and the kitchen table. I think just enough for me to put it on the kitchen table, but it's a debate in my head. I don't know if it's, a style thing. It's enjoyable. Like you were saying, there's not a lot to it, Colin. I think you were calling out. I agree. But I'm enjoying it enough to where I'm not disappointed that I've tried this, and far superior to the Village for sure that we tried before. So for now, it's going on that kitchen table, but like just barely. It's barely on there.
Yeah.
And I'll say, for the listener at home, like if you have a Beaujolais that you really like, please share that with us, because for me, I'm like, okay, in a week, I'm going to be hosting people for Thanksgiving dinner. I want to have a chilled red. I think it's going to be cool. I'm just going to grab this bottle. I know this bottle. It's the only one I've tried. So, like, I don't have the comparison, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time between now and Thanksgiving experimenting with different Beaujolais. So, if you have a rec, great. But I think this is good enough that I'm going to grab another bottle.
You know what it was for me, I think that I'm wrestling with in my head is the swing that it took with that alcohol content. Like, to me, it was almost unnecessary. It's uncharacteristic of a Beaujolais. It didn't add a whole lot to it. I realize maybe it's just part of the process of how they're, making this wine, but it sticks out a little bit like a sore thumb, and not in a way that I think elevates it. So that's that's the thing that I'm wrestling with. I'm not changing my placement. I just wanted to dive a little bit deeper into why my brain is having such a hard time on this one, I think. I think very safely, not a waste of your wine. One that, if you're listening and you're thinking about trying the Jean-Claude Debonne Domaine Des Versauds Beaujolais from 2020, go ahead. This is the Morgon, by the way. Go ahead, give it a go. We think it's fun. We think it's worth trying. I would like to. It's inspired me to continue to explore a little bit especially in Morgon and maybe any of the 10 areas, 10 regions. Is region the word?
Cruise.
10
Cruise.
Beaujolais Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Any of the other
Cruise.
Terry Crews. Any of the other Beaujolais Cruise as well. So, a lot to explore. Enjoying this one, but I think there's a lot more to scratch out there. So hopefully we do that here moving forward. Only a couple more weeks till Thanksgiving, though, guys. Not that we're limited just to the run up to Thanksgiving, but Beaujolais time is ticking.
But
so we'll see what we can get in.
We're going to be tackling some holiday helpful wines hopefully over the next few weeks.
That's the goal. But heck of an episode here. Hope y'all had a lot of fun hanging out with us. Thank you so much again for joining us on this one. Colin, let the folks know how they can hang out with us.
Real simple. YouTube, check us out. Instagram, check us out. Website, check us out. All Stop Wasting Your Wine. That's all you need to know.
That was smooth.
Can't make it any easier than that.
Can't make it any easier. It's that easy. And if you do come interact with us, especially on the platform you're listening to, drop a like and a review. We'd really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Great.
Follow us on Spotify.
Yeah.
Follow us on Spotify or Apple, or subscribe on YouTube. We love it all. Bring it on, baby.
Yeah.
Join that community.
Just keep on coming back. We appreciate you so much. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week for another fun episode of Stop Wasting Your Wine. And remember, Stop wasting your wine.
Bye, all.